It's time to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From hit TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your hosts, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hello, friends, for the Saturday night of November 30th, 2024. Lee Sanders with you guys. Hope your Thanksgiving holiday break has been a good one. Hopefully, you're getting your eat on. You're spending that great quality time with the friends and the family. We're here talking Survivor Series WarGames, the 2024 edition that came to us from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, at the Rogers Arena. Sound off for those of you that saw tonight's event. Let me know what you thought about it. I do have two polls up on X, formerly known as Twitter, at the RCWR show. We also got a poll up on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/the RCWR show. Click on the post section and cast your vote that way. Biggest question going into Survivor Series WarGames: could CM Punk and Roman Reigns, no matter how they were feeling towards one another, could they put aside their differences and join forces, be a cohesive unit against the new bloodline, the great value bloodline, as I like to refer to it? And, for the most part, both guys were pretty much able to do that. I like the tail of the tape, though, in regards to that main event match where you had Big Bronson Reed climb up that steel-like structure, and he is just high in the sky, and somehow CM Punk, in what seems like forever hang time there for Big Bronson Reed, CM Punk is able to yank Roman Reigns off of that table. And as I was saying out loud as I'm watching all of this, I'm going, it's almost like a goddamn roof collapsing, and you're able to dodge the debris and everything else that comes with it. You're able to dodge it all in time. That's what I thought of when I saw Big Bronson Reed just coming down there. Good stuff. I gotta say, looking at all these matches, now that it's in the rearview mirror, I have to say the men's WarGames match in general, I enjoyed quite a bit, although they lost me in the first couple of minutes, getting past the entrances and everything, because it just felt a little bit too long-winded for my personal taste after the entrances and the match was underway. They kind of lost me there for about 5 minutes. I actually dozed off. Luckily, my wife woke me up. And she's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "It's the main event match." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." Like, I don't know. It's like it just hit me all of a sudden. But that was a nice, good, quick 5-minute power nap. Great pacing. Oh, hang on. Got an alarm that went off. Sorry about that, guys. But great pacing in that one, for the most part. Could have maybe trimmed down on the time just a little bit more. But I enjoyed this men's WarGames match 10 times more than the women's WarGames. I hear what some of you guys are saying on social media about, look, this women's WarGames match, it shouldn't even became a women's WarGames match. Shout out to my friend and colleague and Jason Solomon, Solomon Monster Sounds Off. I saw that he had noted that maybe they should have just went for a traditional elimination style tag match, and I definitely agree with those sentiments. It just the War Games tag, giving that women's match the War Games tag, so not needed. And I think we all can be in agreement. Those of us that's watched these Survivor Series shows definitely paid attention to all of the War Games. We all can be in agreement. You know what? Really take a step back. We've seen better women's War Games matches. We have. This one is just an afterthought. I wouldn't even put this in a top 10 category. I wouldn't even put this on a top 10 list. I'm being totally honest with you guys. And look, not for nothing, but I'll give WWE kudos here. They tried to open up the event, and rightfully so. You got two War Games, right? You got two War Games matches. So the way you try to kick things off, you're going to open up with a War Games. I thought that was a nice little touch and everything. But seeing how everything was in retrospect, look, for me personally, I thought that a lot of the spots timing was quite off. There's definitely a series of botchiness that was just sprinkled all throughout that women's opener. A little bit of miscues as well. I tell you what, as cool and badass as it looked to see Rhea Ripley do that riptide on Liv Morgan from the corner of the top turnbuckle, putting her through the table. In retrospect, and I'm very curious to see and hear what Stevie Richards think, but I'm just looking at that spot in real time, and I'm going, and I even said to my wife out loud, I said, man, I said, knocking on wood there for Liv Morgan, because if it would have been a case where you just look at that, go back and watch. For those of you that maybe haven't watched it, or for those of you that did watch it, but you weren't really paying attention the first rodeo, go back and look at that finish. And you just got to say to yourself, man, those girls dodged a serious bullet there, because you could see Rhea Ripley trying to make sure that she's got Liv in the right position and everything for that riptide. And you can almost kind of tell upon Rhea launching in midair for that riptide that she kind of really wasn't sure what to do. Like, if she's somehow supposed to get her butt or whatever to really take the whole force, or okay, is she really just gonna try to do her best to guide Liv all the way down so that she's not really going through the table, but most importantly, the back of Liv Morgan's head is on point. Because when you go and you watch that sequence and you really scrutinize it frame for frame, Liv Morgan came this close from a very serious accident happening, because her whole back of her back, that whole back of hers went through that table. And then when you look at the force in which her back had hit the canvas, she really, I think, in my personal opinion, and look, I could be off, but just what I had saw in real time, and I'm definitely going to be going back and watching it now frame for frame, but it just felt like there was such, when that move, the riptide move went down, that there was just slow-mo. I just felt like I was in slow mode as I was seeing everything going on. I'm going, Liv dodged a serious bullet there. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of sloppiness that I was seeing going on all throughout that match, that just had me go, yeah, no, because let me be honest, a lot of the girls in this one, they look like they really weren't sure what the hell they were doing. Yeah, and there was a running gag for both War Games matches that I thought was kind of funny too. And I don't know, again, you guys sound off, let me know, but it's one thing that was kind of funny. Every single time a person, with the exception of the two opponents that began opening the War Games, everybody else was virtually going for a weapon under the ring. And I'm going, yo, what? Like, why? Like, no, 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 no. There's really no need for you to just go in there and just do the damn thing already. Like, what the hell? For me, at times, it just would have made more sense. Okay, we see one opponent, maybe particularly the first two people that's starting. Okay, they're bringing a few weapons in there and everything. Okay, that makes sense, but it just seemed like every single body that entered War Games had to bring in there some type of a weapon. By the way, the EO Sky spot with the trash can and she did that moonsault. Thank God. That could have been, look, as cool as that looked, that could have been somewhat of a freak accident as well. So that really was a team group effort. It really, really was an effort by all the girls there, because if just one person was not in the spot that they were supposed to be in, boy, that definitely could have been really bad for EO, particularly the knees, the calf area, the ankles, the foot, even. That really, really could have been bad. But your women's War Games opening things up there: Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bailey, and Io Sky. Love that touch of Bailey opening things up for the women's War Games, trying to prove to Bianca Belair and everybody else, hey, I'm in this to win this. You guys can trust me. Let me go out here. I got this and everything. Of course, one of the stories running deep on our minds with everything we've seen these past several weeks, Jade Cargill. Who took out Jade Cargill? And the biggest question, okay, well, who has the most to gain from this and everything? And I love and appreciate the commentators alluding to the fact that the women's tag titles, apparently that is going to be addressed. They haven't teased yet when it's going to be addressed, but I appreciated the commentators bringing up the future of those tag titles and everything. By the way, happy birthday to Naomi. Apparently, it was Naomi's birthday, and she made sure that we knew about it because she had a birthday hat on and everything. And I'm just going, well, hey, she doesn't have to worry about cake because, hey, she's got plenty of it. You see what I did there? Just marinate on that. It'll come to you. It'll come to you. Tiffany Stratton teasing, cashing in the Money in the Bank briefcase. I thought the spot in which they had her do it, tease the briefcase, cash in, I thought that was a nice little touch and everything. I love that. I love that. Thank you for the anniversary. Appreciate that. Anniversary wish. Appreciate that. Reminds me, for those of you that haven't checked out the 13th anniversary special, we did put that out. What was that? Last week, as a matter of fact. I made sure we celebrated the 13th anniversary of the RCWR show week before Thanksgiving, because I figured a lot of people were going to be on the roads traveling and everything. By the way, did you guys that happen to follow me on social media, did you guys see, just a quick sidebar, did you see I actually trended? It was not my intention to trend, right down to the point. I actually was featured because of what I said online. I actually was featured by quite a few online slash paper publications, one of them being the New York Post. Just kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea what's going on. This isn't me boosting. This isn't me self-sucking. As I've said to my friends and family, because I've had quite a few, touch base with me and everything. And you're like, hey, I saw your post. I'm like, oh, you did you now? Wasn't my intention. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I suggest at some point before the weekend is out, you guys hop on X/Twitter and see what's going on. It's non-wrestling related, but it is television slash entertainment related. It's definitely news related when you really break it down. So check that out when you guys get a chance. But I love the tease there of Tiffany Stratton and the Money in the Bank briefcase. All right. I mean, WWE, they've just continued to tease us on and on and on and on and on. Nia Jax, I definitely want to give her respective flowers. I thought of everybody. Look, Bianca, overall, pretty solid. Just going back to the names and just thinking about everybody's parts in there. Liv Morgan with the bat. Here's the thing. Liv Morgan at one point, when it was down to pretty much her and Rhea Ripley going one-on-one. Rhea Ripley, great costume, by the way, as far as costume of the night goes. I love from head to toe how Rhea Ripley was dressed. Had a nice demon mask joint that was going on. I love that mask. If she would have ever put that mask up for auction, I definitely would put in a bid. That mask was pretty badass. But one point, Rhea, Liv, okay, let's go. 1-on-1. Time for talking is over. The back and forth. All these weeks of let's go. Liv disappears. So you're going, oh, well, I guess you don't want none. Okay, cool. But then she comes back and she's got a bat in hand, and you're going, okay. Now we see what's going on here. She ended up, Liv Morgan, that is, hitting Rhea Ripley a couple of times with that bat. Took that bat to the body, took that bat to the back of Rhea's body. Visually, I loved it. Rhea initially selling those spots, but then within 30 seconds, she's no longer selling. And I just said, and then later on, I see Naomi get hit with the bat a few times. I see Io Sky get hit with the bat. They're doing a good job selling it. Even when they think the camera is no longer on them, they're still selling the effects of being hit with that bat. It's just kind of one of those things where I just wish that art of selling, just continue it on. Like, let's see you continuing to struggle, through those adversities, because you get hit in the stomach with a bat and you get hit in the back, you're gonna be pretty damn sore for a little bit. Let me tell you, I wish I could sit here tonight with a straight face and say to you guys, oh, once you get hit with a bat, I mean, you're good in like 30 seconds. I've been hit with a bat a couple of times, and let me tell you, I've been at the receiving end of a couple of bat shots, and I've been at the end of giving a few bat shots. Just instantly, poof, I'm good. Not like that and everything. But nice tease they had there with Tiffany Stratton. Once again, coming up a little short. Wasn't able to successfully cash in the briefcase. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Io Sky, Naomi, Bailey, winning almost 40 minutes. First of all, in regards to this women's match, and yes, we all could be in agreement. Again, not the best women's WarGames match that we've seen in recent memory, right? Right. We can easily agree with that. But as far as like, what? Solid here, solid effort there. Like Bianca, solid. Rhea, solid. Nia Jax, solid. Naomi, solid. Where you saw a lot of, even for the most part, Tiffany Stratton, for the most part, her stuff was pretty solid as well. But I'm looking at Raquel. I'm looking a little tiny bit at Liv. I'm definitely looking at, give me a second here. I want to go back to all the participants. I'm definitely looking at Candice LeRae, and I'm kind of going, and all that other good stuff. So how about that? Candice LeRae and a WarGames opener. How about that? For a PLE. How about that? 40 minutes. We could have easily trimmed that down. That should have been trimmed big time. I would have preferred it if that match actually would have gone about 20, 22 minutes, give or take. It did not need 40 minutes. Really rough to watch honestly, really rough to watch all throughout. I would say the last 8 minutes is where it really started to pick up and was really doing pretty solid. Biggest takeaway from this, Tiffany Stratton coming out of it looking really good. I really was expecting her to falter and just, and I would have been okay. Understand, I would have been okay because it's like, hey, it's your first time in the WarGames. You really want to rely on the other girls. Like, it's cool. But she really held her own in there. So great performance. Next up, United States title match. LA Knight defending against Shinsuke Nakamura. Y'all got to forgive me if Shinsuke Nakamura has had a match on SmackDown in recent weeks. I don't know anything about it because usually I'm working and or doing some homework and getting ready to do 411 Mania coverage for AEW Rampage. So my whole point, I don't get to normally watch SmackDown, let alone an episode of SmackDown from start to finish. Not unless it's the next day or the day after. And then even at that, I'm still not going out of my way to. Usually I'm settling on clips. I mention all of this because I was quite taken back by the new theme that Nakamura has. And I was just watching this. I'm going, okay, it sounds very methodical. It sounds sinister. It's sounding dark. Okay. And if that is everything that you're trying to accomplish here with this version of Nakamura, I'm down, but it's gonna take me a while to get used to this new theme song. I'm not feeling it right now. I missed the old joint. Nothing was wrong with the old joint as far as I was concerned, but maybe it'll grow on me in due time. I don't know. But Shinsuke Nakamura shockingly defeating LA Knight to become your new and three-time United States champion. I don't think a lot of people, and I was checking around, there was only but count 'em, just a handful of folks that actually said, "No, I like Nakamura to win this." Quite taken back. It's quite taken back by this. I did not anticipate them pulling the trigger on Nakamura this soon. I thought for sure my thought process, honestly, with the little bit that I was paying attention to from the SmackDown side, especially in regards to LA Knight and Nakamura, was okay, they're gonna run this program, maybe for about 2 months, maybe potentially three. They're probably gonna just, all right, yeah, this is just the beginning. But the fact that Nakamura got the title off the break, I couldn't help but honestly go, good. Good, because I still think back to that period where Nakamura was feuding with Seth Rollins, and it was a great program for that World Heavyweight Championship. And longtime listeners here will remember I was so high on Nakamura back then. Remember, because we had got the great new video package presentation of Nakamura where they were combining Japanese animation and English subtitle uh, over Nakamura's, Japanese narrating and all that. I mean, they did such a phenomenal job with Nakamura during his feud there with Rollins. And I just felt, this is gonna culminate in Nakamura getting that world title. Yeah, he's definitely it's coming to him. I just felt that if there was ever a time to pull the trigger, everything is aligned just right. You can actually go here. And they didn't. They didn't. And I just remember coming on the show telling you guys, I just don't know what the future holds there for Nakamura. What exactly is going on here with the man creative wise. So to see some form of the beginning of redemption, if you will, redemption arc for Nakamura by having him win this United States championship, I'm definitely down for this. I look at this as a sign that, you know what, we as WWE fans, we as fans of Shinsuke Nakamura, I look at this as a sign of, you know what, maybe the best in regards to Nakamura, has yet to come. And this whole United States Championship being awarded to him is that recognition of a couple of things. One, us as the fan base, hey, we hear you, we see you, like we know, like we're gonna do this guy right this go around. By the way, I like the touch of the all black attire that he's pushing and everything because I'm just reminded of WWE Supercard. I'm reminded particularly of the Undertaker event that they ran. I don't know how many of y'all play Supercard, but there was a really cool Undertaker event they did, and you were able to get these. You're able to acquire uh, what's the right word that I'm looking for? You guys got to forgive me. It's live, it happens, but cosplay. That's the word I was looking for. Certain superstars did cosplaying as Undertaker. And if you remember, there was actually a photo spread, I think last year or the year before. And it was nice to see WWE Supercard incorporate a lot of those images to actual cards you could get of those characters dressed as Undertaker. I know Alexa Bliss was part of it, Zelina Vega, AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura. So I just thought it was kind of interesting thinking about the Undertaker version of Shinsuke Nakamura and looking at what I had got in front of me tonight and everything, just kind of going, okay. Look, the match itself, um, hmm, I'm a little bit on the fence. 9 minutes and change. Nakamura defeating LA Knight to become the new United States champion. I mean, psychology wise, I like what they were trying to relay to us at home. The little simple things. LA Knight trying to get into the ring, but stumbles and drops the United States championship there. Corey Graves right on that and mentioning that little flub. And Shinsuke's in the head of LA Knight. Um, Fast paced, good hard hitting action. Um, I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent for the most part, but very short. Like, it was a good match, but you're going, wow, this was, pretty short here. Like, what the hell? And LA Knight sold the hell out of the fact that he seemed rattled by Nakamura. I really love that whole psychology part going into that and everything. Um, was anybody else expecting a disqualification though? Or somehow just LA Knight barely escaping here with the title? It's okay if you did, but good effort, good stuff by both men. Uh, Slightly above average of a match, I would personally say. For me, the match of the night. Again, the match of the night. I got to give it up to my three guys for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker retaining over Ludwig Kaiser, Sheamus, triple threat match. Really, really fantastic, good stuff. My biggest takeaway from this, besides it being very fast paced, hard hitting, I loved and appreciated the fact that, you watch some triple threats and okay, wow, it's really just a one-on-one. Like the third person really isn't doing anything, when it's time for them to be that third man out. But this was one where there was always constant movement. There was always constant action between all three men. You always knew what each man was doing, right? You were always aware of each man. So I appreciated how this match was laid out and everything. And production wise, from a television production standpoint, which I know quite a little bit about because I've been telling you all semester how I'm taking a television production class. I thought the camera shots, okay, camera one, let's go from camera one to camera two. Let's go back to one. Okay, now let's go from one to three. I thought the great use of camera work was really, really good here in amplifying the action that was coming about. Perfect example. Remember at one point, Ludwig Kaiser ran out of the ring and you're going, oh man, he's probably going to try to do something here, try to do some type of a spoof off of Braun Breaker's trademark spear that he likes to do, running around the ring and everything. And I love how the camera just quickly, caught that. He wasn't able to get Braun Breaker the first rodeo. Something weird had happened. He wasn't able to get the Braun, but he settled for Sheamus as he did like a drop kick or something on the steps. uh I think Sheamus' hand was near the steps and Kaiser just pretty much damaged him that way. And then you had another fantastic camera angle where just boom out of nowhere, Braun Breaker hits this. shoulder tackle. I mean, he leaped in the air, and it was great camera work. You saw him just in the air, serious hang time, and just that shoulder tackle on Kaiser. It was some beautiful stuff right here. Nice hard hitting match though. Great effort by all three men. I enjoyed this match. Of all the matches that we got on this card, which was like 6 matches total, I enjoyed this match the most, more so than the men's war game match. I really didn't enjoy Damian Priest and Gunther there for the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that a little bit. Uh, ugh. And by the way, Gunther retaining his World Heavyweight Championship, getting a little bit of help there from the Demon Finn Balor. About 20 minutes. About 20 minutes. Look, on the one hand, I appreciate the fact that they made Damian Priest not tap out there at the very end, because Gunther got Priest in a rear naked submission hold. And you're looking at that, you're going, oh, well, Damian's all right. He's going to kick out of that. And Damian's eyes wide as day. He's looking around, and then he just passes out eventually. Ref lifts the arm, and that's pretty much all she wrote. You're going, well, damn. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. All right, cool. Gunther retaining. Balor coming out there. I mean, on the one hand, okay, great. It's not all about Judgment Day. But then on the other hand, you're going, so wait, Damian Priest isn't exactly done with Finn Balor just yet. And we still have this asterisk. We still have this controversy that's going on here these past couple of times that Priest and Gunther have locked up for that World Heavyweight title. It's like, okay, like definitively here, who really is the better man? One thing about this match that may put a lot of people off, that may turn some people off that haven't watched the pay-per-view yet, haven't seen this match yet. One thing that'll turn people off is the fact that this may be a little bit too slow paced, because going from the first couple of matches earlier in the card to when you get to this point, this is a very slow paced, hard hitting in some aspects, but the tempo, it's definitely much slower than the other matches. Also, you could make an argument that maybe this match is a little bit too long-winded to do basically 20 minutes. You probably could have trimmed this down easily to 14, and you would have been just fine. If you would have kept it around 14, I think that definitely would have worked very well. There definitely is chemistry between Priest and Gunther, but for my personal taste, I didn't particularly care that much about this match as opposed to their last encounter. It didn't quite, live up to the hype there. I personally feel. Um, Besides that, good psychology from both men, telling a really good, just from a physicality standpoint, everything that was laid out, some good stuff. I don't know if I necessarily need to continue to see Damian Priest going for big top moves from the rope. I think we need to see less of that. Let it be a running gag potentially too, just a quiet running gag where Damian Priest, he's trying to look for something on the top rope, but like whatever he's trying to do, he's never able to do it. I think we need to try to incorporate some stuff like that. That's great if he knows how to do stuff off the top rope, but that's not what we need him for. He can continue to just be grounded, and he can do the spinning, wheelhouse kicks and all that other good stuff, but we really don't need to see him go to the top rope and do high risk, high reward moves. It's just, you can do it. That's great, but it's not needed. Speaking of running gags, did Vince McMahon get in contact with Triple H or something? Because now that I'm thinking about it, just going back to that women's match one more time, a toilet seat. We actually use a toilet seat as a prop. Then we're doing the gesture where we're going to back that ass up on a person's face that has a toilet seat around there. Well, I'm just go. Did Vince McMahon call this in? Did he? Hey, pal. Yeah. You know what? It'd be funny because I need a pick me up. What if you use a toilet seat as a prop, and you just do a little rikishi? You know what I mean? Do a little rikishi. Just back it up. Just back that ass up. Yeah, just. And Michael Cole, God bless Michael Cole, because he points out a couple of times, how awkward, just the awkwardness of the damn toilet seat. That's it. I'm just of all the things to put in there. I'm gonna bring a toilet seat. That was just. I looked at that and I said to my wife, if this is not dark humor at its finest, and a nod to Vince McMahon. I don't know what is. Like, seriously, I don't know what is. I thought there were 6 matches here, by the way. Did I miss a match? No, there was only 5. Forgive me, guys. There was only 5 matches. For some reason, I was under the impression there were 6. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Forgive me. Main event match, men's WarGames. Am I seeing this right? This can't be right. Did this match actually go over 50 minutes, fam? That can't be right. Maybe it was, no, that can't be right. Because, no, that was more like a 40. That was more like a 40 something. I don't know why. Yeah, that was more like a 40 something match. I would estimate, if not 40 minutes for sure, 38, 39 minutes at most. Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, CM Punk defeating great value bloodlines, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tamatanga, Chimichanga, Bronson Reed. You know what? I'm gonna say something that's really unpopular here, and it kind of echoes to an extent what Bradley is saying via Facebook. Appreciate his post, and if you want to do like Bradley and let your voice be heard, definitely type it, post it. I'll show you some love. But yeah, the story arc is what I was more interested in. I don't know about you all, fam, but for me, especially after seeing the great highlight clip from SmackDown of Roman Reigns and CM Punk sitting down there with Paul Heyman, like, I'm going, yo, what's the favor? What's the favor? I'm mainly watching this main event match going, I want to know what's the favor. And how soon is CM Punk gonna call in this favor, right? I've seen better men's war game matches. This was not the best. If you want to say it was the best from maybe if you want to say it was the best from the star power standpoint, from a star power standpoint, okay, I can kind of meet you halfway, just a little bit. I can meet you halfway a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know. I think what was missing from this one was the fact that it wasn't violent enough. If I'm being totally honest with you guys, it wasn't violent enough. Too many times I'm seeing instances through this match where, hey, come on, man, get up. Let me help you up, man. Hey, man, come on, get up. Come on. Yeah, there you go. Hey, man, you too. Get up, bud. Come on, get up. Hey, dude, what are you doing? Come on, get up. And I'm looking at this, I'm going, this is the stupidest fucking booking I've ever seen. You just all took turns laying out this one opponent on the other side. And rather than go for the cover, hey, man, you okay, bud? Get up, man. Yeah, come on, up to your feet, bud. Hey, dude, come on, get up. Hey, I'm just shaking my head going, what the fuck kind of booking is this? Can we at least see you maybe try to attempt to pick up one of your tag partners, and then you try going for a cover, and then you get denied? it was stupid. It was just it was literally stupid. And I kept seeing this occur over and over again. And I wasn't quite a fan of that whatsoever. I thought the teasing that they did of CM Punk and Roman Reigns, whether or not they could get on the same page, those that were expecting for CM Punk to turn, I was not seeing that happen. Um, not it's kind of one of those what's to gain? I mean, and I need for people to really think about this. If you're gonna turn CM Punk heel in this moment, like follow the storyline right now. Follow the storyline right now. Heyman introduces Punk into the whole mix. And then furthermore, Punk is still very fresh off of that feud with Drew McIntyre. So for all intents and purposes, Punk is still kind of like if you want to say tweener, that's fine. If you want to say he's still a baby face, okay, fine. I can give you that too. But those that were under the impression maybe Punk was going to be turning right here, yeah, the first question that you got to ask yourself is, well, what's to gain by turning him heel in this moment? Second question, does it take away from other people? Because who would benefit from Punk going heel in this particular moment? Now, those that maybe were looking for an instance where the miscommunication there, the tensions between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, shit's gonna backfire in some kind of way. And Punk is gonna end up just saying F it, and he's pretty much gonna say F you, Roman. And yeah, I think there was enough that was there. I think by WWE's part, seeds planted well enough, this match could have potentially gone either way. So you had that drama that was going on in there. But I mean, really beyond that, that pretty much was it for that. Jacob Fatu continuing to crush it out of the park. I love the selling that he was doing there to the injury of that foot. That was pretty good, playing up to that pretty well. Um, Tangaloa, I was expecting much more from him, but it was Fatu that came out of this like, wow, this dude is just he's given these opportunities and he is continuing to crush it out of the park. He is continuing to outshine everybody in that great value stable. Like, let's do something. And look, even Bronson Reed for the little bit. Bronson Reed, by the way, that was a crazy ass spot that he did off of the top turnbuckle. That was an insane spot that he did. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Again, that was one of those, your roof is collapsing. And what's this? There's debris. And oh my God, it's a couple of pipe parts. Let me move out of the way if I can in time. But Jacob Fatu, Bronson Reed looking like beasts in this one. I mentioned it on the show earlier in the week. I toyed with the idea of, well, now that you don't have Seth Rollins involved in this program, does he still maybe come back to try to extract his pound of flesh here, particularly on Bronson Reed, or does it kind of backfire and CM Punk is caught up in the crosshairs and and then Drew McIntyre. I toyed with the idea of maybe Drew McIntyre coming back. Yo, Punk, you thought you were done with me, not by a long shot. Also entertain the idea of maybe Drew McIntyre possibly, but it seems that, and I'm going to tell you guys something. I think the way things are going right now with this whole bloodline and everything, look, when it's all said and done, thinking about the previous time that these stables clashed and Solo Sikoa got a W, and we all remember we were here on that post show. We were like, damn, cleanly just, spike 1, 2, 3. We're like, damn. The drama continues. Like, okay, how does Roman rebuild from here? And we talked about it already, which was obviously there is great strength in numbers. Roman's got to. So this was by design. You're following the story arc, which WWE did pretty solid. yeah, Team Roman, they needed this win. And they got that win, right? So now you're very well balanced, but at the same time, you're also going, what role, if any, does The Rock play in this one? You're looking at that. Here's something else that you need to be thinking about too. Think about how cryptic of a statement Paul Heyman recently put out there about the status of Brock Lesnar. You really can't help but toy with the idea and think about the fact that I know we mentioned it here on the show. I think, again, earlier this week or last Monday we mentioned it, but toying with the idea of Brock Lesnar coming back. I think we mentioned maybe him being involved in a tag match there at WrestleMania where him and Tyson one corner, the Paul brothers on the other side and everything, because there's just no way you can do a Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul match one-on-one. There's just no way, you can essentially do that. But if you were to maybe do some type of a tag match with all of those participants, there's your boxing and your MMA, right? So you're really tapping into and you're tapping into also the social media fans slash influencers and all that. You're tackling all of those aspects in just that one match, right? Great way to capitalize. But another idea, as long as Brock Lesnar, and again, you got to put an asterisk by Brock, as long as nothing new pops up, that's kind of, hold back on Brock. Brock could either be involved in something like that, or we could see a situation where the Paul Heyman guys are all united. That'd be pretty badass to see. Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, all on one side. I mean, talk about strength in numbers. That could be something that we see. By the way, the whole idea of Alan, we talked about that on the show. We talked about that on the show weeks again. He's talking about in regards to the allegations. Yeah, we covered that already weeks ago. Matter of fact, we even covered it on the Vince McMahon docuseries review. So you guys that haven't checked it out, we got the series available on the YouTube channel. And we have the audio version of it available wherever you get your podcast. Just search on demand and on the downloads. But Brock Lesnar, the whole Paul Heyman guys, that's something that could definitely be toyed around with as well in regards to potential crossover with the bloodline. It could happen. I mean, on the one hand, you got CM Punk basically saying to Roman Reigns, one night only. Let's just team one night only, just one time. Right. But who's to say, right? WWE is always never say never. It could actually continue to be a case where CM Punk is involved with this bloodline story arc. We'll just have to wait and see how everything plays out. By the way, that favor, have y'all thought a little bit more about what that favor potentially is? I mean, do we have to? I think it's obvious. I think the favor is when Roman Reigns becomes world heavyweight champion, CM Punk wants the first shot at Roman. I think that's the favor that Heyman, right? I think that is because look, if you're CM Punk, follow the storyline. If you're CM Punk, yeah, you're a Paul Heyman guy and everything. You're willing to scratch a mofo's back. But come on. You're a businessman at the same time. So if you're going to do something, you want something in return. Okay, name it. And I think CM Punk named the price and he's going to get it. He is going to get it. Brilliant long-term storytelling when it's all said and done. Because when you go back many months ago, Paul Heyman was in that ring there with CM Punk. Please take me with you. Like, right then and there. Right. So this is how far back it all goes with Punk, Heyman, the new bloodline, all that. So interesting drama that we got going on with this and everything. So I gave you guys a couple of things that you can think about in regards to the idea of Paul Heyman, Brock, Punk, Roman. Man, what I would give to see Brock and Jacob Fatu. I would love to see how Fatu, and I think Fatu would crush it out of the damn park working with Brock Lesnar. I think the two of them would fucking crush it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, a lot can happen there. Let's go to the polls. Let's see what you guys had to say about this pay-per-view event, premium live event, whatever you guys want to call it. Did y'all get out there for Black Friday? A lot of cool deals that was going on. I know I took advantage of, and it's so funny hearing. I went back and forth with this one person on YouTube about this, and in the record store community, right? Vinyl community. I've learned real quick that there's 2 days. There is Record Store Day in April, and then there's Black Friday Record Store Day. To the point when me and the wifey were at local record store Friday, there were so many people that came in and they were going, was expecting, loads more people. Today's Record Store Day, right? And the employees there, they're going, yeah, it is Record Store Day. You're like, oh, okay, so where's the Black Friday deals? It's like, oh, it's all the exclusive stuff, it's over here. But yeah, there's this one guy I was going back and forth with, and he thought Record Store Day was only in April. And I'm like, yeah, I said, it's weird terminology. I know. I was like, but there's Record Store Day in April, and then there's Record Store Day, Black Friday. Right down to the point, one of the albums that I was showing off in a YouTube short, you can check it out later, but on the YouTube short, one of the albums that I had, you can see the label clear as day, and it says RSD Black Friday. So in the community, it's referred to as Record Store Day or Record Store Day Black Friday or RSDBF or Record Store Day Black Friday, whatever the hell. Trivial shit, I know. Anyway, shout out to those of you that's watching, not just via Facebook, but those of you that's watching via YouTube and those of you that's watching via Twitter/X as well. We've picked up a decent amount of followers over on the X Twitter account, by the way. So I'm seeing on the poll for X, damn, really? I'm seeing a tie. Let me repost this, see if we can break that tie a little bit. All right, so we got a poll. I'm seeing a little over 3% of you guys said terrible show. Other half of you said below average show. Meanwhile, 44% of you said awesome show, and 48% of you said average show. Appreciate you guys that cast your vote via X. Let's see what's going on with you guys via YouTube as well. Now, YouTube, I did pretty good. YouTube, I actually posted that a little early, or I should say earlier than expected. So if you noticed it, then you kind of know what was up. All right, let's see here. All right. Yeah. Wow. Really? Really? I post that thing like almost. Damn. I posted that thing with maybe 45 minutes to an hour to go before the pay-per-view went off the air there. Okay, I'll run with it. I'll tell you what. I'll give you guys the benefit of the doubt. It's Thanksgiving weekend. All right. Some of you guys aren't able to watch the pay-per-view yet. Okay. But I know usually next day, guaranteed before the Monday show, you guys represent on the YouTube and you cast your vote. Early voting on YouTube. Again, early voting on YouTube. 33% of you are saying awesome show. Meanwhile, 67% of you are saying it was a average show. I like going to my favorite site, Cage Match. I like seeing what some of the people are saying in regards to the event, but high point, low point of the night, I'm definitely going to give the high point to the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship. Thought the boys in that one did pretty good. Low point, let me look at this card again. My low point would actually be this is a I'm looking at that women's war games. I'm looking at that women's war games. Yeah. I almost want to go with the men's war games. Because if I had to, at least the women really, really tried. At least they were. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. You know what? I'm gonna go with the women's. I just got to go with the women's because what they were doing just felt so forced. It felt like, well, since the men we gotta have one, and it didn't quite. Both war games matches. Now, I could even say, you know what, it's a tie between both war games because it wasn't as violent, it wasn't as, but you could at least give a slight edge more to the women's war games because at least you can say, look, they tried to go a little bit more extreme in theirs, whereas the men's it was that's a tough one though. For me personally, everybody's different, but for me personally, I'm gonna go with the women's war games. All right, let's look at what's going on here with cage match. This is a busy weekend for wrestling because you had AEW doing some stuff as well. And there it is, Survivor Series War Games. Let's see, what's the early snapshot? 6.88 out of 10 is what I'm seeing right now. Let's look at some of the ratings that's coming in here. You know how we do it. And for those of you that don't, basically, we're going to look at the most critical, middle of the road, most positive. Right now, most positive is a 9 out of 10. This comes from Paul 04. A rough first hour with 2/3 of the women's war games were rough, but it picked up after the match finally started. And thanks to EO Sky and the US title match, felt like a TV match and a surprising title change when Nakamura hasn't been seen in almost 8 months. But the rest of the show was pretty damn good. A extremely fun three-way match and awesome world heavyweight title match that was better than their SummerSlam. Really? No. I wouldn't say it was better than their SummerSlam match. No, their SummerSlam match is still number one in my book. Probably the best main roster war games match they've done, and probably a top five WWE war games. No, I wouldn't even say that, especially just looking at the 2024 calendar year alone, Paul. I wouldn't even. No, WWE has done better pay-per-views. They've had better war game matches, events than when we had what we had got this year. Going back to your comment about the world heavyweight title match, I will actually not even the world title, the three-way for the IC, I should say. I think that's what you were alluding to more there. Ludwig Kaiser. Really got to give this young man his props. This guy continues to hit it out of the park every single time he gets in there. I mean, whatever is asked him to do, whoever he's supposed to work with, this guy, I got to think about it a little bit more when we get ready to launch the awards, the Lee Sanders Wrestling Awards show. But I would say for like most underappreciated slash dark horse for WWE, you could definitely put Ludwig Kaiser in that category if you want to. You could definitely put him in there in that category. See what else you got here. Oh, so that was it. So that was it for Paul. All right, let's see who else we got here. So that was most positive. Let's look at a average. Seeing quite a few 7s out of 10. Let's go with I'll tell you what name jumps out to me the most here. Actually, you know what? Ultra Mark, because I just think that name is really badass. Ultra Mark, 7 out of 10. An entertaining show overall in the end, but started off weekly with the very disappointing women's war games match but then it picked up with Nakamura winning the US title, surprisingly, which I didn't expect. Bron, Sheamus, and Kaiser was what we expected and delivered a great match. The Gunther Priest guys, y'all got to do a better job of. I sometimes fall victim to this as well, but y'all need to do a better job in making sure you're on top of your commas and your periods. Otherwise, it's just going to come off as one big old long run off sentence. Luckily, I'm able to kind of read ahead a little bit and put in the commas and periods where it's needed. But anyway, great match. But then it picked up with Nakamura winning the US title, surprisingly, which I didn't expect. Bron, Sheamus, and Kaiser was what we expected and delivered a great match. The Gunther Priest match was disappointing, but did the job. But the main event was brilliant with the top tier storytelling and a numerous of spots, including the tsunami from the top of the cage and the Jimmy Uso splash. 7 out of 10 overall for the show. Yeah. I'm just reading back what you said there very briefly. Yeah, I good points. Good valid points. You're not gonna get any pushback from me. I think you hit it perfectly there and summing it up. Let's look at most critical. I'm seeing for most critical right now, there is a bunch of 6s out of 10. Bunch of 6s out of 10. Let's I'm looking. Well, I tell you what, let's go with Nothing Left Inside, who gives a very well thought out 6 out of 10. Another middle of the road outing from WWE, who a year or two ago were cranking out awesome events and now seem to be a little lacking in the match quality department. Don't get me wrong, this is a fine pay-per-view with at least 3 decent matches on it, but nothing truly out of this world or mind-bending story-wise. Let me pause right there. So far, nothing. I agree with every single thing that you are saying, right down to the point. And if you guys are really paying attention to the WWE programming, when you look at those Monday Night Raw shows, I mean, look, we're just ecstatic as fans to not have to deal with that third hour. But at the same time, you're paying more attention now to the quality of the matches that you're getting during those 2-hour shows. And it kind of seems like most of the time within recent weeks, there has been a better emphasis on the quality of the matches that we're getting, although the length of the matches, you're going, hey, this match was good, but damn, like we couldn't even hit the 10-minute mark. What the hell? Right? It's an interesting trend that you see happening on Monday nights. And then when you look at SmackDown, it's just it's SmackDown. Like you'll maybe get 1, maybe 2 matches. Guarantee that'll be pretty solid from each SmackDown. But for the most part, it's just it's just SmackDown, right? So nothing. You make a really good point. See what else that you're saying here. No clear match of the night winner. Really? Even for the triple threat for the IC? You didn't? Wow. Okay. All right. All right. The women's War Games match is clearly inferior to the others. No pushback there, but not outright terrible. Shinsuke and LA Knight turned in a decent performance, but it also was nothing special. Hey, no pushback. No pushback. We got some fireworks out of Braun Breaker, but the match was an awkward 3-way when it probably would have been better as a one-on-one. Yeah. I mean, honestly, if it would have been Sheamus and Braun one-on-one, totally would have been down with that. Priest and Gunther give us another solid contest in their feud, par for the course from the ring general. Yes. The men's War Games match is a decent enough watch, so maybe it's match of the night. But to be honest, this is another honestly skippable pay-per-view that you might as well watch the highlights of the next day instead. I would agree with that. I think nothing left inside. You summed it up perfectly. Like, to those that are still with family and friends and you have not watched this event yet, and you're wondering, yeah, do I need to go out of my way and watch this? I honestly would say to you, no, you're honestly good. It's not the end of the world. Go check out whatever highlights might be made available on WWE social media accounts, including YouTube, and you will be just fine. Because as far as, okay, wow, didn't see that coming. Whoa, that was a twist. Besides the LA Knight Nakamura thing, I mean, that really was it, especially given the fact that there was no cash in by Tiffany Stratton either. Yeah, it was just another one of those, have this quota to fill. We got to do this pay-per-view. Let's do it. And that pretty much was it. So no, you didn't miss I would say you didn't miss anything at all. Right down to the point. My rating for Survivor Series, I've seen better Survivor Series events. I think you fans out there, when you really sit down and you really, really take a step back, get out of your own way, really take a step back and just think about all the other previous Survivor Series events, you would honestly go, seen better. So 1 out of 10, 1 being crap, 10 being awesome sauce. I'm gonna give Survivor Series. I'm gonna give Survivor Series a 6.5 out of 10. I can't go lower. Won't go lower. Definitely won't go any higher. I think a 6.5 out of 10 suffices. So if you're looking at that from a letter grading scale, that's pretty much a C. It's not even a C plus. You're looking at a firm C. I think what really would have probably helped this event out even more is if they had some wow, I didn't expect that, type of star power. Like, get even more star power in this one. I'm trying to cut WWE a little bit of slack. I mean, they did have to do a Saudi show, and you could tell they just wanted to get that damn Saudi show out the way so they could just try to focus on Survivor Series. But yeah, this was I've seen better Survivor Series. I can remember better Survivor Series. And the funny part is I didn't even have to go that far back. That's the crazy part. Um and on the 1 year anniversary when CM Punk comes back to the WWE and everything, like I just would have thought that as far as like building off of memories, like, hey, we need to make sure that when it comes to these Survivor Series, like, if anybody remembers just one thing from Survivor Series, it's going to be this. And they definitely essentially began a new tradition there last year with Punk popping up. I'm not saying they needed another return at this event, but just, hey, remember that great special feeling you used to have when you were watching Survivor Series with your friends and family? And man, if you missed out, you sure as hell heard about it next day. Like, I thought for sure they were going to continue on that build and everything, but not done right here. Not done right here. So yeah, yeah, 6.25 C grade. That's how I'm looking at it. So real quick, programming notes. I'm back with you guys Monday night after WWE Raw goes off the air. Tune in for that one. We'll be going all over the place, not just talking Raw Fallout. We'll also talk the very latest in wrestling headlines and more. And I'll try to see if I can get the live feed of it, but I'm definitely this Monday as well, early in the afternoon. I'll be live on campus doing my radio show again. I'm looking forward to that. Lots to talk about on the air. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So keep your eyes and ears open on that one. For those of you that have not gotten around to checking out Survivor Series, sound off. Let your man know what you thought about the event and a number of the points that we had brought up here on the show. Appreciate everybody that you either wished a happy 13th anniversary or you just popped up in the chat. And I know usually post show, hear a lot more from you guys, but definitely sound off when y'all get a chance. If you're going to be checking this out for on demand and downloads, let me know what you guys thought about Survivor Series. Meantime, I got some really cool merch that's on the way. I actually was on the WWE shop site and I had grabbed some CM Punk merch. I looked at this one tank top that I really, really wanted because I said, well, look, I'm getting ready to start working out and, start training for boxing and everything. And I'm going, oh, this would be great to work out in. So I got this really cool. I think it's going to be here actually before Monday's show. So keep your fingers crossed. I believe it's going to be here Monday. So if it gets here, we'll definitely show that off for you guys. I'll do a quick review for it. We ain't got to do no 15, 20-minute joint. Just boom, open the bitch up. Hey, fill the material, all that good stuff. We'll get into all of that. Shout out to our friends in the New York area. You guys been representing all month long and checking out the show on demand and on the downloads. And I appreciate that tremendously. I was looking at the analytics and I'm going, whoa, New York is in the top 3 as far as states that check out in North America that check out the RCWR show. And that took me by surprise. I was sharing the stats with the wife, and she's like, what is going on with you and New York? I'm like, I have the slightest clue, but I'll take it. So shout out to my people in New York. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Meantime, be kind, rewind. Check out previous episodes you might have missed on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the RCWR show. Get at me all throughout social media. The X, Facebook, the YouTube. I'm even on Blue Sky now. So if you got Blue Sky, you can definitely give a follow over there as well. Until next go round, my pretty babies. Wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see you guys next go round. Take care, y'all. Peace.